Hello everybody and welcome to another Arkham Horror video. Today we're going to be talking about the latest Taboo List changes. Yay! It's always an exciting time when there's a new Taboo List because the big thing for us is that things change. We do play with the Taboo List on this channel. It's an optional rule set. If you clicked on this video being like, what the hell is the Taboo List? Well, it's an optional set of card changes. They could be chained, mutated, and forbidden, and there might be one more that I've forgotten, but they're just fancy terms that they probably use internally that they've then given us to describe what the change is. Chained in the past have changed the XP cost of the card, but this Taboo List is all about mutated cards which have a different text box. Wow. So, why don't we dive right in? This video should be pretty quick. There's not too many changes. We don't have a lot to say about them, so let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll continue the conversation in there. First card,
Maybe.
we have Elusive. So, this, I'm showing on the left side not the previous Taboo List version, but just the original version if you're going from the card as printed to what it is now, because the previous Taboo List version has been thrown out. They don't want to chain and mutate cards like multiple times, so the new Elusive is this mutated Elusive. The 2 XP version is gone, so that means all of our videos talking about in the past are now dead. So, original Elusive was fast, play only during your turn, disengage from each enemy engaged with you, and move to a reveal location with no enemies. The mutated version is a 2-cost, 0 experience, fast, play only during your turn, disengage from each enemy engaged with you, and move to a connecting location with no enemies. Do you guys have any general thoughts about this change?
I might actually play this card now because it doesn't feel dirty.
Yeah.
I
like it.
don't think it's particularly good, but
It's fine.
yeah. Which, I mean, the initial version was also like kind of broken.
Yeah, the original was kind of
put it
bonkers.
mildly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's worse. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, but it's like also kind of not good now. Like,
No, I think it's fine.
2 money for
It doesn't
free to
help.
pay.
And move.
Yeah, I think this is like much better in off green than it is in green because green has a lot of easy ways to just get away from monsters anyway. If you don't want to, if you're playing a character who doesn't want to fight them.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of with Travis. I feel like this is a card now that I can just it'll fall into a lot of decks that can run it, just because I think the power is pretty nice. The free evade and the move seems all right, because I had a hard time putting it in at 2 experience, even because it was still so powerful, but just because I was like, it's Elusive. It's strong, but it's not what I want to do right now. And now I can be like, yeah, Elusive, you can come in here as the 29th and 30th card of my deck, as opposed to coup de grace. It seems better.
Yeah, it depends who you're playing, but
yeah, definitely, yeah. Sick. All right, let's go on to this new one, which when I saw these, it made me think of Bryn. So, the Springfield M1903. So the original uses 3 ammo. It's a 4-cost, 4 experience, 2-handed weapon. As an action, spend an ammo, fight. You get +3 fist and deal +2 damage for this attack. Cannot be used to attack enemies engaged with you. The new version is still a 4-cost, 4 experience, 2-handed weapon. It's mutated, uses 3 ammo. As an action, spend 1 ammo, fight. You get +3 fist and deal +2 damage for this attack. Cannot be used to attack enemies engaged with you. This attack may target non-elite enemies up to 1 location away from its standard range, ignoring the aloof and retaliate keywords. So Bryn, as our Springfield expert, what do you think of these changes?
I think that's where it should have been from the get-go. It had to have something that it did that the other big guns weren't just like, hey, look, I do this, and you can just shoot guys engaged with you.
Yeah.
Because the difference of 1 XP was not worth that. However, providing alternate utility, I think gives this card a little bit of a home. Also, in a possibly, currently unaired episode of set of episodes of Return to the Forgotten Age, I may have three completely dead experience in my deck now.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to talk about. I imagine
Yeah.
we'll just follow the normal rules where starting taboo list is active taboo list for that one. But, I mean, I think it's pretty sweet. I understand why, from a game design standpoint, why they had it do non-elite enemies, but at the same time, I wish it did. Because, like, to me, flavorfully, it doesn't make sense why it's like, quick, shoot that guy, but not the guy next to him who is the much bigger threat, right? Like, flavorfully, it's a little bit of a miss for me, but mechanically, I understand why. I just wish it wasn't.
Yeah, I think this is a neat design, but I have two issues with it. One is like just adding text onto the card. I don't mind when they mutate the function of some cards like Scroll of Secrets, because it's easy to remember that it's just free instead of an action. You know, even something like the Elusive change isn't that bad because it's the same effect, just like
Connect.
modified. Whereas this has an entirely different function now.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of having to keep that in mind when I'm playing or deck building with it. And on the card itself, though, I think it's neat that there's like a sniper rifle, but I also think it's like bad still. I think that, I mean, like, it's nice that you can live your little sniper dream now, but I think that blue has gotten enough movement effects in like Get Over Here and Safeguard and Righteous Hunt that being able to attack enemies from I would rather just like play those and then play a good weapon. You know?
Yeah. They did say...
That is what this brings to the table, right? Like,
yeah.
It has a slightly above damage score. It just deals 3 damage instead too, but it is a 4-cost weapons, so 4 experience weapon. Like, I would rather just have like Safeguards or Get Over Here's in my deck and then play like Lightning Gun.
I think your original point is pretty apt, that this card is kind of here to fill that sniper fantasy, right? And
I also feel like this was a card that it was. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no.
I had this line go. They started mutating it, and it was still garbage, and they feel compelled to make it playable now, rather than just letting it rot like they should.
That is what they said in the release notes for it, that they've pushed this one, like they're trying something with this one. And I imagine if it doesn't work, they might just be like, okay, let's put it to this experience level and it can live here as printed, right? So it's one of the things I still do like about the taboo list is that they can experiment and try. I actually honestly believe they should do it more than just once every 8 months for small changes, just to, you know, it's optional. Why not have some fun with it? But I do agree with what you're saying, that like big changes like this could just be a whole new card that they could just start at the ground up, right? For a change.
Yeah, they could just print a different card.
Yeah,
that says this.
Cool. Like, this actually honestly seems like it could be a good green weapon, like a Springfield that's green, because like green people are cowards, right, Bryn?
Also, their cards are bad, so there you go.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to Telescopic Sight. So, all right, I believe the only change on this one, so the original is a fast 3-cost 3 experience attached to a firearm asset you control that takes up 2 hand slots. Attached asset cannot be used to attack enemies engaged with you, and then as a reaction, when you perform a fight action using an attached asset, if you are engaged with no enemies, exhaust it. This attack can target a non-elite enemy at a connecting location. Ignore the aloof and retaliate keywords for this attack. Hey, it's the Springfield. The upgrade, the new one. And I believe the mutated version just means you can now attack enemies engaged with you when you have it on, because you realize, hey, I don't need to look through this telescopic sight to shoot the dude right in front of me.
Yeah, this one kind of kills the telescopic sight on the flamethrower meme.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because it was pretty garbage to begin with.
Yeah.
Where you detach your telescopic sight and then your flamethrower just couldn't be used.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Bryn, is this in that?
I have the same issue.
Oh, sorry, Travis, you go.
I was gonna say I have the same issues with this one as I do with the Springfield, where like I would rather just spend the experience on something that lets me actually move.
Yeah, I definitely kind of agree with that. Luckily, I mean, I also don't even like the big gun archetype, so this is it's not for me. But Bryn, is this in that Leo deck? Like, did you build your own Springfield?
Oh yeah. No, I had put together my own Springfield. Yeah, I will say that this stealth version of the Telescopic Sight feels a lot less bad to put on your gun because, you don't stick it on the gun and then you're just like, oh shit, well I can't actually use this for the thing I need to use it for.
Yeah.
Anymore.
It does kind of seem like, looking at the non-mutated version compared to the mutated version, it's like, but why was that there to begin with? So it's a nice change.
Yeah.
And unlike the last one, this is an easy change. It just says you can now attack dudes attached to you. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's move on to the things that Travis has been asking for and he has predicted. It is, oh my god, I'm not on the screen. It is happened. It's happening. So, these cards all have the same new mutation, so I'm not going to read the original or read the cards individually. But Eucatastrophe, Hollow, A Watchful Piece, and 3 Aces now remove themselves from the game on resolution. I think in the cards we wanted to see tabooed, I said Eucatastrophe, and Travis, you said A Watchful Piece, so this is a long-distance handshake in celebration of us predicting the future.
Do you think that they watch our channel?
Oh, man, maybe they're watching right now.
Maybe. Like, if I'd ever played the 3 Aces Mandy deck, I probably would have also advocated for that one to be removed from the game after use.
Definitely. I think these are
there's
all...
a similar change coming for another card that I think is another good decision on their part, but I like to see this.
Yeah, me too.
Because recursion is very fun, but not when it breaks the game. And this lets you have the fun of recursion without breaking the game.
Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. Now, like, we don't need to worry about changing resourceful, right? We can just fix the actual, like, bad things to recur, and people can still grab their luckies or whatever they else want with their resourcefuls. Like, that's nice.
This is a lot of cards to change on. It is, like, a little bit ham-fisted, but it is a very easy change to remember as well, where, like, on cards like this, you're not actually changing what the card does. You're just like, I use it, and it's gone.
Yeah. I've never played with Hallow. To me, it feels like, I understand, like, they put it here as probably like a safety valve. I don't know how lethal it is to actually go over and over again, but I feel like this one's a lot different than, like, the other ones, because 10 is a lot harder than 5, or just drawing a red token or getting cards from your deck. But I also respect the fact that...
It's pretty easy.
Is it?
If you're committed to it, yeah.
Cool. Then yeah, it's just like a good...
People who are, like, trying to do it, it's not that difficult.
Yeah. Then it's just good to have. Like, just like, this is the button, and they now know going forward to just print these on cards like this when they're printed. So that's sick. Bryn, any thoughts from you, or just this good?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, like, Eucatastrophe probably didn't need to remove itself from the game until Silas existed.
Yeah.
The other two, yeah, like any effect that forces the game to skip its turn, you maybe shouldn't be allowed to use it again.
Yeah.
3 Aces, Mandy is the problem with 3 Aces. It's not like Eucatastrophe. It's like a single investigator that makes that a problem. Although it doesn't really affect anyone else who would want to play 3 Aces, because getting them 3 times if you're not Mandy
is very hard.
Getting all 3 of them twice.
It's not just a Mandy issue. It's a Seeker issue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame Mandy though.
I mean, also practice makes perfect too, right? Like, that's also...
She is the most egregious offender, but it is not only her fault. Otherwise, they would have changed her.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our last change, which is the Pendant of the Queen. So, like the other ones, this now, when there are no charges on the new Pendant of the Queen, it's removed from the game. So if you don't know what Pendant of the Queen is, it's a bonded card that you need to find 3 segment of onyxes to put into play, and then it becomes the Pendant of the Queen. Shoo, like the Triforce, they all come together. It's super sick. As a lightning bolt, you can exhaust Pendant of the Queen and spend 1 charge, choose a revealed location and select 1. Move to that location, discover 1 clue at that location, or automatically evade an enemy at that location. So previously, when it was out of charges, you shuffle back into the 3 copies of the segment of Onyx that are out of play into your deck. and then, oh sorry, you set it aside out of play, and then the Segment of Onyxes go back in your deck, and then you can reforge it again. Now if it's out of charges, it's removed from the game. No more. You can't reassemble it further. Travis, I'll let you start, because you previously started talking about how you thought this was a good change, so I'll hand that ball back to you.
Like, be able to, I don't know why it shuffled back into your deck.
Mm-hmm.
That's dumb. I think it would have been fine if they put them into your discard as a change. Still been a very powerful card, but I understand they want to change one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It uses charges, which are like a little more difficult to get onto things for Seekers. But yeah, like if you're turboing through your deck, now this is just something that you play to play, and not something that you build your deck around.
Yeah, and
you play
like
other things too now.
In the release article, they also talked like how like they hope like this now could see some people using Eldritch Sophist to fill it up again, and that's a bit more exciting than just doing it over and over again and like using Mr. Rook a bunch to do it, right? Like there's still similar pieces required, but as you said, Travis, it's not something you build around anymore, and if you do want it to build around it, there's other alternatives to use the charges as opposed to just drawing your deck.
You can build around it, just not for that archetype anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Of note as well, this is no longer chained, so it now only costs 1 experience to get all 3, which I think is sick. Yeah. I was going to ask Bryn if he has any thoughts, but I don't think I've ever seen him play with this card.
I played it in an Ursula deck once.
Yeah?
Yeah, it turns out it's not just a Mandy problem. Being able to
Yes.
find the pieces over and over again.
Yeah.
You're just like, here's the Pendant to the Queen, and then you use all its things, and you shuffle the 3 segments back into the 6 cards that are left in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, hey, check out this backpack. It's got the Pendant to the Queen.
Yeah.
I like how you were like, it's not just a secret problem, it's mostly a Mandy problem, and then immediately the next card you're like, it's a secret problem.
So this one is a secret problem because it's like easy to draw your deck down that low. But the other one I don't think is like every secret, because the only way to get them back into your deck is to either play a purple card, which means playing versatile, which in turn means making it harder to find the pieces, or drawing through your entire deck, shuffling everything back, and then doing it a second time. Because they do just go into your discard pile, right? So
yeah,
or they did just go into your discard pile. I think with the existence of Ariadne's Twine and the Eldritch Sophist, the Pendant to the Queen is still going to be a problem child.
Mm-hmm.
But
a different problem child, which is a bit more enjoyable than like just.
But you have to commit experience and cards to actually to like finding it and enabling it, as opposed to finding it and enabling it being the same thing now.
Yeah. And also like the Ariadne's Twine or Twin, whatever it is. That's a card, I mean, obviously we haven't played with much from that cycle in person, but like that's a card that I've never played with, so a new card to play with is exciting, which is ultimately like the goal of these taboo lists, to change up similar play patterns. Yeah. Sweet! Any other comments, or should I close out the video?
I think I'm good.
All right, I'm going to close out the video. So, if you have any additional thoughts, viewers, that you want to share with us about what you think about the changes to the taboo list, or any cards you wish were changed that weren't, let us know in the comments below. I will be reading them and I will be responding. And maybe, as always, you'll get one of those little hearts from me if your comment makes me go, ha ha! Which is really means nothing, but you know, I like laughing, so tell a joke and make me laugh. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back very soon for another Arkham Horror video. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.